So, 2 weeks ago was Thomas Jefferson's birthday. Thomas Jefferson, for those of you who aren't Americans, was the author of the Declaration of Independence, the third president, and an all-around pretty bright guy, although he held slaves. That was a great thing, too. But basically, an all-around great guy. And so I think we should say affluent young white people in Washington, D.C. decided that they wanted to have a little flash mob dance party. A flash mob means that you basically send a message out via SMS and you tell people to show up at a certain time and do a certain thing. And in this case, they were all going to show up at the Jefferson Memorial, which is in Washington, a beautiful building in Washington, at 11:55 p.m. to 12:05 a.m. And at that point in time, everyone was going to come and pop in their iPhone, their buds from their iPods, turn to a particular track, dance around a little bit for 10 minutes, giggle because they were being kind of rebellious, and then go home. And they celebrated Thomas Jefferson's birthday, right? Absolutely wonderful. And of course, they created an invitation on Facebook for anyone to join. Well, the trouble is it didn't really quite work out as they planned. Because what had happened was they got there, and everything's fine, and it's, the comfortable sort of affluent white people, and they're there, and they're dancing with their iPod buds. But the Park Service, who has management of these national monuments, was there as well, and they just didn't think it was cute that these young people were putting on their iPods and dancing, because it didn't seem appropriate to the space. Now, these folks picked their time very carefully so that they wouldn't be bothering other people, because if you show up at a national monument at midnight, chances are on a weekday you're not going to be bothering anyone. But either way, the Park Service just really wanted them to stop, and they thought, well, look, Jefferson is the father of liberty. Tell us why we have to stop. Is there a law we're breaking? And the Park Service officers really didn't want to hear that either, and one thing led to another, and, well, Brooke Oberwetter got arrested. Now, Brooke is pretty, blonde, 26, and the daughter of an ambassador. And her friends are affluent and pretty and hyper-connected. So within the next 12 hours, there was a blog, which got linked to other blogs, which got linked to the news media, which got linked to the broadcast media, so that the waves started to ripple out. The footage I was just showing you is actually in 3 parts, and it's up on YouTube. That also went out. And so the message started to go through all of these channels of hyperconnectivity. And Brooke was let out of jail 5 hours later because, let's face it, it's a slap on the wrist. They dinged her for maybe not being a police officer, whatever it might be. But of course, there's a Facebook group now all around getting the charges dropped completely and basically making the Park Service say, yes, you were free to bob at the Jefferson Memorial. And we laugh and think, oh, that's kind of cute and it's kind of sweet and everything. But these are the 26-year-olds of the world, and this, for them, is simply what they immediately think they should do when one of their friends is threatened. Because they have access to tools and technology that allow themselves to mobilize and to get the word out instantaneously. And they didn't have to think about this. I'm sure that for them, this was as simple as 1, 2, 3. It was completely apparent and completely obvious. And this is now how power has started to change in the age of hyperconnectivity. Now, we think of hyperconnectivity and we see a couple of different faces, particularly because the media is feeding us a couple of different faces. What we see, perhaps, is the gross violation of copyright. This is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which a 15-year-old in America got somehow, ahead of its release date, laboriously photographed every single page, bound it all up as a PDF file, and uploaded it to BitTorrent. And here it is, about 20 minutes after it had been uploaded, so that anyone could download it and read it. This despite every effort of Scholastic, who spent $30 million, or Bloomsbury, spent $30 million to keep those copies protected and undercover so that no one would be blowing the plot. And we look at all this hyperconnectivity and say, well, it's piracy and these kids are crazy. And then, of course, we look at who manages to invite 500 people via Facebook to a party that he's having at his house in Melbourne because his parents are in Queensland on holiday. And we say, oh my God, these crazy kids. And then we also look at the fact that there's a different kind of flash mob that can form. when you have a bunch of Anglo-Celtic white supremacists in New South Wales who share a text message among themselves. And this one isn't so pretty, and it isn't so fun. And all of these things are aspects of the same trend, and it's a trend that's going on right now. But the one that I want to come back to is just a small group of people who are really concerned about their one friend who got arrested because she mouthed off to a cop. Now, this is the tsunami, all right? And it's coming at us as a culture from every different direction, and it's coming at full speed. And it's swamping and drowning all of us. And it's drowning the assumptions of how we function as a culture and how we get on. And it's not a wave in the distance. You remember the shots of the 2004 tsunami? You could see the wave in the distance, and then it was here. This wave has already hit us, and it's still hitting us, and we're starting to go under. So let me talk about that. So, what does it all mean? All right. This is the part of the talk where I get to be very prescriptive, and I say if you do this, this, and this, everything's going to be normal and safe and predictable, but nothing is normal anymore, and who knows what safe is anymore. And predictability went out for a smoko 2 years ago and has never been seen again. We're on our own here, and we don't really have a clue about how to move forward. Now, there are going to be all sorts of snake oil salesmen, and there already are. We're trying to sell you all sorts of solutions, and when you boil all the solutions down, their pitch comes down to a single point. We will give you back your control. Now, let's just see how well that works out. So last year, you sort of dying gas, Government Helen Coonan introduces the net alert. So we're going to filter the net, make it safe, and you can download this software that we paid $85 million for and install it on your computer, and your computer will magically be safe, except, oh no, wait a second, there's a 16-year-old who broke it in 30 minutes, and when the government upgraded it, broke it in 40 minutes. And, of course, they're at it again. Senator Conroy is promising what they call ISP-level filtering, which can be very quickly and easily and completely defeated. And I actually wrote an article for ABC Unleashed telling the rest of Australia how you could do it. Because it's not hard to do. And it's important to do if you want to have unrestricted access to the net. And do you think I was saying anything to the 14-year-olds out there that they didn't already know? No, because the 14-year-olds are all hyper-connected. I haven't even talked about the sub-15s. The sub-15s are a different species altogether because they are hyper-connected, and it's completely, they don't even think about it. It's completely natural to them. A 15-year-old is sending 100 text messages a day. And that's just sort of natural and normal and standard. They're constantly connected. And they're not just doing that. They're using Facebook, they're using MySpace. Trust me, whenever one of them learns a way to do something, they have every tool they ever needed to make sure that all of their mates and all of their mates and all of their mates, and that's pretty much Australia right there, know how to do it.